What's going on, guys? Oh, we're just trucking on down the road. Hey, excuse me. Picked up in Goshen and on my second run going down here to Belden. So, but ran into an old buddy of mine that we all run together out to. There's 5 of us that ran that last trip to California I went on, and ran into him at the yard. So he's in front of me right now. He's going back home to Missouri. But anyway, for my little daily video vlog, whatever you want to call it, I figured today get on here and answer a comment. So I know I've told y'all before that you got several comments. I'll probably just do them in a video. With this lady, it's only one comment, but I figured it would be better to do a video on it, and I'm going to send her a reply back just telling her that I'm just going to do a video on it and look forward to seeing it. So because I figure there's probably other people out there that's wanting to know the same question, and then plus to get more in detail with it, I figured just instead of typing it all out, which I'm driving, I don't have time to do, and figured it'd be better to make a video and post it. So, but so it came from Miss Mother Trucker. Thank you for your question. Thank you for subscribing and supporting my channel. But she asked, can you average $1,800 to $2,000 a week every week throughout the year, take home before taxes, with about a $900 a month truck payment? So I'm gonna answer that the best I can from my experience, and just keep in mind that this all depends on what company you go with. I am going by the company that I'm with, the loads they have, the loads where they go, and how much they pay, and all that stuff. Fuel discount, because all that stuff has to factor in. Where you live has to factor in. There's a bunch of things that you're going to have. Like I said, I'll answer the best I can, but there's a lot of things that you're going to have to sit down on your own and figure up to see if it benefits you. So, short answer, yeah, it can be done. Is it going to be tough? Yes. Are you going to have to stay out all week? Yes. If something happens, like a breakdown or something like that, are you going to make that much? No. You're just going to have to take your good weeks where you make more than that amount, 18 to 2,000, put that money back, and then again, like I always talk about, a maintenance fund, emergency fund, put that money back, and then so that way, like, so, you know, like they say that put back that money for the rainy days. So try to get a little bit more detail. The video that I'm doing for this week's trip right here, it should come out hopefully in a couple of weeks. I hope. Whenever I get done, and I got to sit down and edit it and all that stuff. But basically, I'm doing 3 buildings, I'm gonna try to do 3 buildings. I'm on number 2 right now. That 3rd one may end up being in Columbus, Mississippi, which is not too far from me either. So it all averages out about the same. But so I'm doing these 3 runs back to back to back home to Mississippi. So they're short runs, about 670 miles or so trips. That's all they are. So 670 up there, which I don't get paid for, 670 back. For me, whenever I get delivered, I don't have any deadhead. So, meaning I don't have to drive back home empty. So, so Miss Mother Trucker, being trucker, obviously I'm sure you know what deadhead means. So, guys, just forgive me. I'm trying to do this off the top of my head. I didn't write anything down. So that's the key, is keep your deadhead to a minimum. And but like I said in that video, I'm doing all 3 trips in one week in one video. And then at the end of that video, I'm going to break down everything. I'm going to break down by trip, by the whole week. I'm going to break down from how much it paid to how much I spent in fuel, to basically how much I'm going to end up putting in my pocket, pretty much. So stay tuned for that video. But I go ahead and give you the short answer about this week. So this one right here, each load's paying roughly $1.63 a mile at 670 miles. And then, so that's like, I think it was, I didn't write it down, but I think it's like $1,092. So, now keep in mind, out of that $1,092, you got $40 to $45 pull-in fee that comes out of every load. Whenever you're first starting off, unless you pay for it all up front, then they're going to take out, I think it's 7 or 10% or something like that off the back half of your settlement to go into a bond until you meet a $1,500 bond. So that's going to come off. I just got my bond done, so that don't come out anymore. So the only thing that comes out of my settlement is the pull-in fee. So 3 trips at that amount. So that's roughly what, close to $3,300. Time you take out the pull-in fees, it's going to be a little bit less than $32. That's gross for the whole week. I'm averaging about, and this is with our fuel discount. I'll go ahead and tell you this real quick. On these trips right now, at the pump at Glendale, Kentucky, at the Petro, at the pump it's around about $3.79, I think, a gallon, and I'm getting it for $2.79, so I'm getting $1 discount per gallon. Those are questions you got to ask whenever you're calling around whatever company you're looking at leasing on with. What are their fuel discounts? Some are good, some are bad. Like I've always said, don't always go with the highest paying company, because they may not have loads, and then the fuel discount may suck. So they may pay up here, but fuel discount's going to be down here. Other company may pay down here, but fuel discount's up here. Time you and you can't. Some people you just can't make understand this. Time you figure it all up, it's going to average out the same. So, I mean, don't be really putting down a company because they pay less. They may have other benefits, discounts that you can get. But anyway, so I'm averaging. It usually costs me in the neighborhood of up or down a little bit, depending on when, depending on if I keep my foot in it or let out of it. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about 130 gallons. 125 to 130 gallons is what I'm going to use to leave my house, come up here, get this camper, and then get back home. So about 130, 125, 130 gallons a trip. So last night when I filled up, and with my tank, I hold 136 gallons, so to get me up here and back. So I spent I spent $350 for fuel yesterday, and that'd get me back home and then back up to Glendale on my next trip to fill up again, and then that'd get me on up to Indiana, round trip. So, excuse me. But so you take that 350 off of, let's see, what I say, 1,092. Take out the pulling fees, so that's 1,050. Take off 350 for fuel, so that leaves me with 700. Now, you can say that's putting in your pocket, but it's still not, because you still got insurance to pay each month. You still got maintenance you got to do on your truck. Put back for maintenance, put back for tires, put back for the emergency fund. I always recommend at least 5% of the back half of your pay, if you can do it. Put 5% back for maintenance, and then put 5 to 10% back for an emergency fund. The maintenance, that's all that money comes out for. Oil changes, save up for tires whenever you need them, things like that, things that you need to repair on your truck that's going bad. The emergency fund, that's exactly what that's for, is a breakdown. Your motor goes down, something like that. That's what that's for. So don't dip into your emergency fund to do an oil change. So let's see, $700 times 3, that's $2,100 in 6 days. I left Sunday, and I'll finish up my week Friday night. Be back home Friday night. But being that I live where I'm delivering 2 miles from the dealership, I'm home every other night. I'm sleeping in my own bed, taking a shower in my own shower every other night, and still netting after fuel, not after truck payment and insurance and all that stuff, but after fuel, $2,100. I don't think that's too bad. Them are short runs. You do a California run, depending on the pay, they can pay anywhere between $3,500 to $4,000 gross. Normally, by the time I get done with one, by the time of course, you don't get that many. Back hauls are very, very seldom. Normally, you're gonna come back empty. Every once in a while, you might get lucky, but don't count on it. So, time I leave my house, go up to Indiana, 670 miles, say 2,200 miles to Southern California, and then roughly 1,900, 2,000 miles back home. Time I figure it all up with fuel, I'm gonna, I can't remember exactly how much I spent, but I'm gonna put in the bank anywhere between $2,000 to $2,500. You might get better fuel mileage, so you might put a little bit more. So yes, it can be done. Now you're gonna have to get out there and you're gonna have to run. You're gonna have to stay out all week. And that's coming home on the weekend. That's just running a trip, coming back home. Now, if you run a trip and you want to stay out for 2 or 3 weeks, and then come home, so do it California, come back, grab you another California, go after it again. And yes, you can build up more money that way. But like I said, it all depends on where you live. If you have to deadhead, like say for me, if I pick up Florida, well, I go up to Indiana. So I live in northeast Mississippi. I go up to Indiana, pick up to Florida, then I shoot down through Nashville, Chattanooga, Atlanta, on down to Florida. Coming back, now I have to veer over, unless I'm going right back to get another one, which normally I don't. Normally I go home. So I had to veer over sort of northwest a little bit to go home. So I'm deadheading out of route a little bit. So that cuts into my profit. But say if you done a Florida, and say you lived in Nashville, or you lived in Chattanooga, or Atlanta, or Macon, or somewhere like that, and I mean, you could do that trip, be home, and no deadhead miles whatsoever, other than going up to get the camper, and then after you delivered, coming back home. So so your deadhead miles should be pretty close to the same as your loaded miles. I'll give you an example. One of my friends, he leased on about a little over a month ago. He lives in Little Rock. So, and I was telling him about this comment. He's got about a $900 to $1,000 a month truck payment. So he goes up to Indiana, grabs one, and then he normally does like a Texas, like somewhere around San Antonio. So he leaves his house, goes to Indiana, stays up there the night, grabs his camper, comes back home, stays at home in Little Rock, maximizes his miles, his daily miles, like 670 something miles a day. Stays in his own bed, goes to San Antonio, stays there overnight, delivers, comes back, stays at home, takes off after Indiana again. So he's home, same thing, every other night. And he's doing about the same thing as I'm doing on these, making 2,000, maybe a little bit more than that a week. Home every other night, and that's money you're putting in the bank. Not necessarily money that you're pocketing, but money you're putting in the bank. So you still got to figure out. That's just after fuel, guys. So you still got to take out truck payment. I'm lucky, I don't have a truck payment, mine's paid for. So, taking out truck payment, taking out insurance, taking out maintenance, emergency fund, taxes. So $1,800 to, what was it, $1,800 to $2,000 a week after fuel. Yeah, you can do it. Like I said, it's going to be tight. You're going to have to run. You're going to have to, on those good weeks, you're going to have to put back for the rainy days if you want to average that much every single week. So, but yes, it can be done. You're going to have to eat out of your truck, get your cooler, bring your food with you, stay out of these truck stops, stay out of hotels. If you want to stay in a hotel every night or every other night, no, it's not going to work for you. You're going to have to build your bed in the back, take the back seat out of your truck, build your bed back there, and you're going to sleep in your truck. All those things like that, all those luxury things, that's going to eat into your profit. Maintenance, the best you can, you're going to have to do maintenance yourself, do your own oil changes. Anything that's going to eat into your profit that you can do yourself, you need to do it. Because if you go out here and pay somebody to change your oil and all that stuff, well, that's going to eat into that $1,800, $2,000 a week, then you may not make it. So, but go back and watch. I think it's my 3rd or 4th video that I ever made, like close to 3 years ago, starting on a budget. You ain't got to have all brand new nice things just getting started. You ain't got to have a 5th wheel to get started. Start out with a bumper pull, go to Harbor Freight, buy your weight distribution hitch and all that stuff. That's what I got. Mine's held up for 3 years so far, still working good. They saved up my money. I had a fuel tank sitting around the house. I used that. I didn't go to Dan's or Dooley Depot and outfit my truck. I've done everything myself. And most of the stuff I had sitting around the house, or either I found it on Facebook Marketplace, or found it in a junkyard somewhere, or whatever. I think the only thing really new that I got is that weight distribution hitch that I got from Harbor Freight. The hitch, found it on Facebook Marketplace. $1,200 hitch. I got it for $500 up in Louisville, Kentucky. Found it, picked me a load going up there. Stopped in Louisville, picked it up, went up, got my load, went and delivered. But get you a fuel tank, get you an auxiliary tank. That's going to save, that's going to help you to profit. So get you an auxiliary tank, put that on there. Get that before you get a fifth wheel. I can't stress that enough. Even if you have to go buy the auxiliary tank, guys, it's going to pay for itself in 1 month, I promise you. With the savings that you will save between having to stop, not having to stop, being able to figure out trip plan of where you're going to get your cheapest fuel, then that fuel tank is going to pay for itself in 1 month, I promise you. Then after that, that's extra profit. So get your auxiliary tank, and I would highly recommend getting that just as soon as you possibly can. Trying to think. I guess that's pretty much about it. But just sit down wherever you live. And cause the company I'm with, we got loads all over the place. Yep. So, Miss Mother Trucker, again, thank you for subscribing, thank you for watching, thank you for your question. And if I did not answer it completely, I apologize. Leave me another comment, shoot me an email, and I will try to answer it more in detail. If maybe tell me how exactly what question you want me to answer as far as that goes, and like I said, I'll try my best. But like I said, also stay tuned for the video I'm doing this week. Should be out in a couple weeks, and watch to the end, and I'm gonna do a whole breakdown of my fuel costs, my pay, everything, and show you how much money I made gross and net for that week. Well, I'm not gonna say short runs, but short runs for me. 670 mile trip and home every other night. So, but I hope I answered your question. I hope I answered somebody else's question. And guys, if y'all don't mind, hit that like, share, subscribe button. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. And sort of keeps, I guess, my enthusiasm going. I see them subscribers going up. It makes me think, well, hey, I'm doing a good job. I keep doing, doing more videos. So if I don't see that subscribe mark go up, and I'm just, I guess I get, what do you call it? Down or whatever. Thinking, well, hey, I mean, I'm just doing these for nothing. So hit that subscribe button. That's how you can repay me. Just hit that subscribe button. So, alright. Well, we'll see y'all on the next one. As always, y'all be safe. Semper Fi.